Good evening and welcome to November Foxtrot, the show brought to you from random places around the UK. In particular,
Yes.
tonight we've got Lance in the creepy forests, and I'm sitting in my office
Again.
because I wasn't able to get my work done before I could go home. So, big shout out to
Lumberjacking
my
today, sir, was you?
colleague who's also here, who I won't mention because I know he doesn't like being on the internet, but hi. Hello, how are you, Lance?
I'm all right, mate. Sounding better than you, but you got a bit of a cold.
Yes, I have a disease. Having moved house at the weekend, which is exciting. I am now in, but unable to do the show from said location. But I immediately got struck down with man flu / man plague.
Wasn't there a Didn't you make a bold statement last week saying this will be the last
Yes.
time you see me in my house? I will be in my new house. What?
Yep. Yes. So
I'm sure there was a forfeit if it didn't happen. I'm sure there was.
Ray says you've got something on your lip, Mike, and Lance has something on his head. What's going on? You were cool, man.
No, I haven't. There's nothing on my head. Your facial hair is coming along a treat, sir. I like it.
Thank you. I've had to invest in mustache scissors because I was
as opposed to normal scissors.
Well, no, because I was finding that as I was eating, rogue mustache hairs were migrating their way into my mouth, and I was subsequently plucking them mid-chomp, which was a horrible sensation. You never know fear quite like it when all of a sudden you start ripping bits out of your face whilst enjoying a tasty sandwich. So I have
you retrieved food from it yet?
No, I've retrieved flavors of various sauces and things. Don't go there. But what I will say is I couldn't use like normal scissors like this because I couldn't basically get close enough to what I wanted to trim. So I was ended up using.
That's just fucking dangerous.
Yeah, so I was using the scissors off my Leatherman, and I was like, this is a like quite an overkill methodology for having to do that. So I went and bought off eBay some little tiny scissors, so I can now just trim that off. So yeah, that's the life I lead. That's the exciting nature of my life.
Please
do
don't
you have tiny mustache scissors?
No, I don't.
Well, I'll get you some. Don't worry about it. I'll get you an Andy.
Thanks very
NoFo mustache scissors.
Yeah, please don't mention Leatherman. It cuts me deep.
No, I know. If you have seen Lance's mutt tool, it is lost currently. I'm going to be placing a reward on this now because it is very precious. I will be putting £5 out there as a reward if you find Lance's Leatherman mutt tool, unless you've nicked it, in which case
you're a bastard.
You're not having the £5. You're a bastard. But give it back to him anyway. So yeah.
Thanks. Cheers, mate. Thanks for the support.
That's all right. That's fine. I've got you back, mate. Hello, Steve, Gavin, Marky Mark, Punish One High, John Stockman, Les, Harry, Gavin, Andrew Taylor, Lanav Challenge, Rage, Danny, hello, and Kenny Rebel.
Hello, everybody.
So we are going to be talking about Winter Prep Part 2 tonight. Before that, it's not really news per se, but I know there was a bit of chat in the dog tag Facebook groups about sort of HPA getting banned and things like that. Now, I'll be honest with you, that's the first I've heard of any rumours along those lines.
I couldn't give a fuck just putting it out there.
No, I think HPA has its place, to be honest with you. I personally, whilst I haven't ventured into HPA, I do like the idea of a HPA Element G, or even truck mounted. So if you've
HPA is great for like pumping up tyres, things like that.
Balloons at birthday parties.
I can't think of it. Yeah, inflating balloons, airbeds. Yeah. Other than that, no, can't really think of anything else.
Turns out 80% of our listeners are HPAs.
Laterers.
Oh, sorry, driverwood. So yeah, not dog tag, driverwood. But yeah, basically,
high pressure arsehole.
Has anybody heard along that? Because we'd be interested to know. Obviously, personally, I think HPA has a place, as does gas blowbacks, as does AEGs. The only thing I would suggest don't bring to a MilSim is a Springer, because wow, you're just going to get shot to shit, basically. And by Springer, I don't mean like a bolt action. I mean like the old school, like pull back the slide and fire, and then fire that way, because that'd just be a nightmare. Yeah, HPA is great when you're underwater. Just breathing the
There you
bubbles.
there's its place.
Yeah, definitely not a lot of love in the older chat for HPAs, but so if you've heard about HPAs or anything like that, it'd be very interesting to hear. But I say I've not personally had. I don't know if you have, Lance.
What's that, mate? Any more on that
About
HPA
HPA?
subject?
Yeah.
No, nothing. I did sort of scout about a little bit and did some Googlings, and all it come up with was just the laws of airsoft. And I was just like, well, this is fucking nonsense. There's clearly nothing gone mainstream with regard to HPA being banned or whatever. So, John's comment there. Yeah, fixed position LMG, yeah, that could work. The tank hidden, and obviously the regulator locked off and all that jazz. So some knob cheese can't come and crank it up. But yeah, that's the biggest one for me, is how powerful it could potentially be. Do you know what I mean? I know you can do that with AEGs and stuff like that, but it's a lot easier to do it with a HPA. A case of just increasing the air velocity going into it. So,
yeah,
what's that noise?
Yeah, I mean, there's other things as well, like rate of fire and stuff like that as well. But I mean,
yeah, exactly.
You know, you can get, you can get AEGs that have a high rate of fire and things like that. But I think for us hardcore MilSimmers, anything that's not a realistic rate of fire, and we all want a loud bang as well. Oh, I'll tell you what, actually, have you seen the the sound boxes? We talked about these, the M203s.
We did, yes.
Yes, I've been looking into them, but they are very expensive. They look very cool.
I never
there's something
thought
in the
they made
region
it
like
to market.
500-600 quid. No, they are.
Ah.
So they've recently had the pre-orders go out.
Is this the two chaps from New Zealand? The Boss
yes,
box,
it's
or whatever
the
it's called.
the Boss Gen 2 XM203.
Yeah.
So apparently there's a few left, but they are on pre-order at the moment. So if anybody is interested, you can get them at rdxtech.net. That's rdxtech.net. And they are pretty cool, but they are 1,200 New Zealand dollars, which when you convert that to actual currency is. I am joking. But I don't know how much that is in pounds. Give me a second, I'll find out.
40
that
quid,
equates to 566 quid. So that's an awful lot of money for the ability for your gun to go bang. But
however,
having looked into the noise and like just some of the output, it does look pretty cool. But
we'll have to get a link
can't
up
afford.
On the Facebook
I
page.
can't afford 566 quid to test one out. So if you have one, please record us a little video, and we'd be very interested to see.
Or if RDX are listening and would like to send one to us to
that would be great.
Just to fuck about with, we'll be we'll be happy to do that for you.
Yeah,
absolutely.
No, we will quite happily do that. And not for us to keep, but we could give one away as a charity thing, something like that. Whatever you're willing to allow us to play around with one. But this is basically the RDX XM203.
Because I saw this a while ago. Now, I'm going back 2 or 3 years ago at least, when I first spotted this on a YouTube video, and it was unbelievable. It genuinely is impressive. It does look very cool as well. You can't beat a 203 under an M4. You can't. It's just. It's
no, so this is the problem.
Ever.
It's only going to work if you have an M4 build, in my opinion, because or maybe a Scar. But you're not sticking that on an AUG, are you?
Well, if it's got a Picatinny rail, you can.
Well, no, you can. To clarify, there's nothing to stop you from doing anything. Like, you could literally stick anything on your rifle.
I could put 4 around it if I wanted to.
Yes, you could. You could if you really wanted to. Boom, boom, boom.
Good God, what is that?
But I mean, for example, there's obviously certain, like an MP5. If you've got an MP5, it's not going to be you're not nicely fitting an M203 to an MP5. So
it needs to be done though, just hilarious.
But yeah. Right, shall we get cracking with our cold weather kit, basically.
Let's get cracking.
So, I am jealous of that. I am, yeah, I have nothing here to do a show and tell. So, I will just sort of blag my way around the topic as Lance nicely demonstrates some of the bits of kit that he has to
We've
hand.
got some
But
bits. I've got some relics from Machiavellan to show bits and bobs like that.
No, that's fine. Well, should we start off with the hand warmer because I know that's the thing you just grabbed. This has definitely made it to my. It's my birthday next week. Just to say, but this hand warmer has definitely made it to my gift list because
so these are made by
they are not very
Highlander.
expensive. It's only like a £5.
Yeah. So it's literally, it looks like something they found on the Titanic, like a snuff box.
Well, yours does.
A greeny, it does now, yeah. A greeny velvet outer case, a little button there. Pop that open, and you've got like a metal liner with like it's almost like a wood burning stove rope, sort of fire retardant material on the middle there. Little charcoal stick. Now you can light it at both ends, or you can light it at one end for a longer burn. But literally light that, give it a good blow, make sure it's got a good ember there, so it's nice and glowing. Close the box up. Within 5 minutes, that box is just gorgeously warm, and that's it. And what I did get on Preppers, some morphine Surette boxes, and these are great because these keep the charcoal sticks nice and safe and don't get them crushed. Because obviously, if they break up and get crushed, they're not going to be as effective. So yeah, I'll get 3 in there. Probably squeeze 4 in there, but 3's ample, and that keeps it keeps it nice and secure in that case. So that's what I've done there. But these were send on Mac Alpha. Absolute godsend. And obviously you can load one up already in there ready to go, and then keep another 3 or have a couple of boxes of these with you. But they're an absolute godsend. I mean, obviously you have got the normal hand warmers, which I've got here. Again, these were hot hands. Everyone knows about them. These were a godsend as well. When I actually found them in my bag, and I took a pair of socks off and put them on, you know, it was an absolute game changer. So I highly recommend them for the winter, especially if you're staggered on, or you're in an OP or something like that, and you're stacked for a few hours. They're an absolute godsend, definitely. But yeah, hand warmery type.
I must profess, I'm always a little wary of anything that's got a flame attached to it. So, for example, like the Zippo, you get the Zippo hand warmer type thing. It's basically a lighter stuff. It's very similar to the Highlander one, just on the basis that it's an actual flame. You can get rechargeable hand warmer kits, which are basically very similar to a battery pack. I think they just have sort of like a heater element in there that, you know, over time it just runs the current through it and heats that up as well. They're quite good because you can recharge those, obviously. And I think some of them do come with like the ability to charge other things from them, so you don't have to have it purely as a hand warmer. You could have it as a battery pack, which you know, if you're a long-term listener of the show, you obviously know we always like things that do more than one thing.
Absolutely.
So it's always quite handy. But yeah, those little sachet, the hand warmer things, warm hands or the like, you can pick them up. I think Tesco normally do them as like a bit of a deal for like 50p each.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Tesco's do. You'll get them in front of garages now. They'll start stocking for winter bits and bobs. Like petrol stations will start stocking them, and they'll be everywhere. You know, you won't be able to miss them. You know, you always get them in millets all year round and stuff like that, or go outdoors or whatnot. But yeah,
they do expire though. Would be the only bit of advice, because there's always that risk. Yeah, they do. There's always that risk that you ignite one and then you're like, oh, there's kind of a 50-50 chance whether this might actually work or not.
Where does it say it expires?
Oh, they do expire because they basically over time allow ingress of air into the bag.
22nd of the 1st, 21.
4-year shelf life, apparently.
Expires 2024/1? Question mark. Well, they put a question mark, so they don't even fucking know. Hot hands, get a grip. Okay.
Yeah, well. The microwave ones are good, but only one use until you recharge those. Oh, Harry, there you go. 10,000 milliamp hour pocket warmer. I have 2, last 20 hours, and you get a big milliamp hour though. Oh, get a big milliamp hour. Exactly. You don't want one that's going to be running for 5 minutes. But
I've got this one, which is a cracker, and this is a.
Oh yeah, the ball in the bag ones. They're good.
26,800 milliamp hour, and it's solar charge as well. That's a great power bank if anyone's interested. Amazon. Or the Pebble Explorer. That's another really good one. And it's really compact. It's probably about half the size of my iPhone. Pebble Explorer.
They're
really,
just
really
chargers,
good.
though, not heaters, aren't they?
Oh, they're not heaters, no. But if you need...
Yeah.
I don't know if that charger needs to be recharged. Ooh.
Yeah.
Don't know.
No, that's fine.
Very, very good.
The other one I wanted to mention is obviously there are gas burner systems as well. So you have the kind of the space heater canister-driven heaters and things like that. Now, they are not obviously going to be quite as stealthy. There is an element of... it depends on the brand of the ones that you buy, but Coleman and sort of various companies like that make them. And they are basically a space heater, aren't they, really, for all intents and purposes?
Not to be used in tents or anything like that.
No.
At all.
But if you are sitting around outside and you need a bit of heat, or even in like if you're stagging on in a Sanger, for example, at Longmoor, something that, because ultimately, let's be honest, if you've ever been to Longmoor and you're attacking the fob, people are going to be in the Sangers. Like there's
it's a bit of a no-brainer.
Oh, they might be there or they might not be. If there's a tower, there's likely someone in that tower.
Where did those rounds come from?
Yeah.
Who did it?
So
was
most
it you?
likely, if you're air, you might as well just I wouldn't worry too much about thermal, having it by your feet or whatever, if you want to kind of get a bit of extra warmth down there.
Or as a decoy.
Or as a decoy, yeah. You're just holding it up and then put a helmet on it.
Well, no, just placing it out in the forest, banging it on quickly, and then bugging it out. If you stay behind it and move back, they'd be like, we've got a heat signature out there. The heat signature's getting really big, really big, as the forest is slowly catching fire.
I don't know. You just get someone with a thermal. Some tits running around with a space heater. One of those big oil-filled radiators and a generator. Just
like loads of 240 extension cords and like a little electric plug-in nano heater. What's he doing? Fool. Yeah, good stuff.
So if we haven't covered
base
any,
layers in that?
We did briefly cover base
Last
layers.
week.
So we talked about long johns and the like, and tights. That's another one as well.
Cool. Yes.
So yeah.
Well, you
I'm
did
going to mention it
dual purpose.
just because.
Go on.
Sorry, I'm going to mention this one just because Gavin's brought it up, and I know Gavin's a fan of the show, especially in relation to one of our previous episodes. So he says, "Are we going to be discussing colostomy bags to avoid things going over Mike's head?" Now, I would just like to mention that if you are stuck in a stag position, like if you're in an LUP or anything like that, then you do need to be careful of the fact that you're not going to necessarily have the chance to dive off and have always, away from where you're laying up. So you don't want to be necessarily pissing. If you're going to be, appreciate that we're playing airsoft, so you're likely to not really be there for more than 24 hours. I would have thought in an LUP or anything like that. But in the real world, right, you don't want to be lying in a bush that stinks of piss, and eventually that bush is going to stink of so much piss that people are going to know that there's clearly people in there pissing in the bush.
Or it's the piss bush, and they'll pay no attention to it. Push.
The pish bush. That's quite hard to say quickly. The pish bush. Piss bush. What I will mention is you can get. I actually went and bought one, but you can get like the proper little kind of nursing. Solid like plastic bladder things.
Yeah, I was about to say mangina then, but it's not.
It's definitely not.
I was trying to say the opposite of shiwi, which is
pish
not
bushes
mangina.
and manginas. What is this show about?
A pish bush. That's what you need. We need to invent a pish bush.
But you can. I mean, things like water bottles and stuff like that are just as good. I'll be honest with you. You probably want to go with the Lucasade bottle just because it's got the wider mouthpiece. I'd highly recommend that as a shout.
De-icer container.
Get a little funnel, something like that. Just helps avoid splash if you're going to go down that route.
Funnel.
But
big funnel.
a shiwi, that's another one. Shiwi would work.
Shiwi.
Les has got loads of piss bottles, and that's basically that. I'll see if I can find a picture because I got one. I asked for one for Christmas, and my family thought it was very strange. Basically.
Obviously, of course.
So yeah. I've got it. It's spill proof apparently. The one I've got. Let me just bring it up.
Well, that's handy. I'd just like to add, I was always in the fight, never out of the fight.
No, I know.
It was my turn to. My turn to stag on. I couldn't just leave the OP or the LUP and go for a P from the LUP. Oh, that's clever. I like that. And also, once you've lashed in it, you can put it in your sleeping bag and keep you warm for a bit.
You can.
And
there is no
lady
way
attachment.
to clarify. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, mine didn't come with the little brush either. So I mean, this is clearly the one up.
Now, is that for the bottle, the brush, or?
I'm assuming it's for the bottle because I'd hate to think that it's that's for ramming your shit into it once you've tried to use it for a number 2.
I wasn't thinking of that.
No, I know. I took it in a different direction. But I mean, this is obviously probably not the best or most economical from a space-saving perspective. But you are not going to accidentally drink out of that, because I have read numerous stories of people who go camping. They've got the piss bottle and they got the water bottle. In the middle of the night, they grab the wrong one, they start drinking, and it all goes Pete Tong. So I am yet to use this at an event. However, I have used this outside of events on certain bits and pieces I did. So there was a bit of hiking I did.
Oh yeah, Mike, you might want to take that down, mate.
Why is that?
It's just showing some information of yours.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Yeah,
so
yeah,
if you
okay.
want one, that's where it is.
If you want one, send it to me.
Gravy boat.
That's right.
Tactical gravy boat. Get in.
Yeah, there's a number of other people that live in that postcode anyway, so that's fine. And funnily enough, it's my old postcode because I haven't updated my Amazon yet.
Results.
So.
You haven't ordered anything yet, have you, for the new gaff?
No, I haven't.
Go to the old house.
Yeah. No, I've got all my my Royal Mail redirected, but obviously Amazon isn't. But anywho, but thank you, Daniel, for pointing that out.
Just quickly, Marky Mark mentions mini hot water bottle. Now, I have got one in my Amazon basket. It's made by NGT, November Golf Tango. It's a carp fishing, because all carp fishermen are massive sissies and they need all the comforts under the sun to go carp fishing in the winter. But yeah, it does look pretty cool. It's like half size of a normal water bottle, hot water bottle, shall I say, with a fleece. Comes with a fleece DPM woodland cover and all that jazz. So yeah, I am tempted to invest maybe. I was wondering though, is if I did a hot water bottle, would I be able to use the water out of it in the morning if it had been reboiled, or would it just be crap because of the rubber of the bottle? What do we think? Do we think it's safe? Should we just fuck it and try it?
I would suggest if you're going to go down that route, you probably wouldn't want to use an actual hot water bottle, and you probably want something more metallic.
It's not very comfortable, though, is it? A metallic one. I was thinking because it's not. No, it's not in use. It's flat and it's.
Depends on where you're putting it, though, isn't it?
Well, I'm going to put it in my bed, in my DOS bag.
Yeah, but you don't need it to be flat in your DOS bag because you can just put it to one side of you while you're sleeping, couldn't you? You're not gonna. Are you laying on it, or are you putting it on you when you're?
I have got a metal water bottle which I could just
Mark was just thinking about pissing in it. I mean, to be fair, then yeah.
Yeah, you could do that. You could piss in a water bottle, in a hot water bottle. Absolutely do that.
Yeah.
Fair enough. You do you, man.
Water bottle rubber is not food safe, according to Harry. So there you go.
Challenge accepted, Harry. I'll be the judge of that.
Yeah. Food safe my ass.
Yeah. You don't know what food safe is. Well, actually, that's a good segue onto food. One of the little tips for keeping... Yes. Well, I always either try and have a hot meal or at least a hot brew before getting in the DOS bag. Warm that inner core up a little bit, because that will only help you. Only good things. And to do that, I use this. Now, this is my Stanley trigger cup. If no one's seen it before, loads of people have got them now. As I remove it from its sheath. Yeah. Sounds like a naughty book, doesn't it? A naughty audio book for certain people to listen to. But this is my travel one. I do have a smaller one, which fits in my belt kit, in my ammo pouch, which is, funny enough, similar to this. So you can see it's a bit bigger. But my other Stanley cup, same size as that. But yeah, got varying options there. It keeps the brew hot for hours and hours and hours. It doesn't leak. It just stays as it is. Little trigger action. Squeeze the trigger in, have a drink. And then this is the standard ammo hip flask. Is what it is. They're really good because obviously you can unscrew the top.
Is that a Yeti one, that one?
This one? No, this is a Thermal. I think this is an issued one. Thermal mug. Blah blah blah. Mug. Thermal. Tea. Coffee. Usual army speech on
Hot.
it. Hot. Tea. Mug. Coffee. Nice. But
So,
it's good because you take the inner top off. You can keep a brew in there. Keep some coffee powder, milk powder, and sugar. So you can just put boiling hot water in there and then add your brew later on if you wanted to. But yeah, both really good bits of kit.
So with the Stanley, I'm going to not throw a little bit of shade on them, but I find my trigger flask is good. If you want a hot drink, it depends on the ambient room temperature, but I find it's okay. You know, it's not always. You're not going to be having hot water necessarily in the morning, depending when you get your head down. Whereas and I've just looked it up, the legendary bottle, which is the one without the trigger mechanism, is much better insulated and will likely get you your hot water for the next morning. So if you want to have a dual setup, that's quite useful. So the trigger flask is obviously really good for taking little sips and everything like that, and you want to just keep a hot drink going. But if you boil some water the night before and you want to kind of just leave it to one side and you've got it in the morning, then the trigger mechanism basically it dissipates an awful lot of heat, and you notice that when you've got one. If you feel the top of the cup, even the one you've got, Lance, assuming you've got something hot in it, the top of that trigger system will be actually slightly warm, whereas the actual main body is quite insulated.
You want
so
the
it depends
flask.
on what you want,
the
horses
Stanley,
for courses and etc. But yeah,
I've got the Stanley flask, and that literally does 24 hours boiling hot water. Like that is stuff. That is killer. And you can get them in varying sizes. So yeah, that's always been a go-to. I think actually, I did bring the flask. I brought the flask to Mac Alpha because I made up a load of hot water the night before for brews in the morning.
Yeah.
Again, another great thing. If you can get a little team flask, I mean, it's like 1.5 litre Stanley green classic Stanley flask.
Yep.
Lifetime guarantee. They're about 50 quid, but I can't recommend them enough. Really, really good. Really good bits of kit.
I was just trying to find the specs on them. So they keep hot water hot for 48 hours.
Yeah.
And it can hold an entire pot of coffee. So that's the 2.3 litres Stanley. Now, obviously, you're not going to necessarily need 2.3 litres of hot water to yourself, but if you've got a team, you're going out and about. Thanks, Stephen. If you've got a team and you're out and about, potentially sort of two of those. Yeah. Sorry, Stephen has just said, Mike, new job at the Lumberjack call centre. So thank you very much. I actually bought this shirt for, funnily enough, a Defiant event where we were red shirt team. You're wearing your red shirt as well.
I'm wearing red t-shirt guy, yeah.
Yeah, but rather than we obviously had to wear red as one of the teams, and rather than just go with the classic Hawaiian look, I thought I'd go something a bit different. And then again, multi-purpose. I like to make use of the clothes that I buy. So now I wear it as a shirt every day. So there we go.
Done.
Yeah. From that squint of it's you that needs specs. What?
You said you were going to get the specs up on the Stanley.
Oh,
and you were squinting at the screen. Come on.
Oh, I'm very ill. It will keep hot water hot and cold water cold or iced. It reckons for 48 hours, which is pretty decent spec to be fair. It mentions 10 days, but I don't know what the 10 days is for either. So yeah. But get a couple of those. Get a couple of those in your kit bags and stuff like that, and yeah, good to go.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Like I said, getting a hot drink down here before bed, or when you're allocated some sleep, or a hot meal, especially in the winter months. It is for me. It's essential. I've got to have a hot drink of some description. Usually just a black coffee. If I can make cream last that long, I'll put a bit of double cream in it. But there we go. Another little thing I've got. Not really essential at all. But it is a handy bit of kit just to keep eyes on how bloody cold it is out there. Is a little digital thermometer, just to keep in your kit.
Feels unnecessarily excessive.
if you were wondering, and you can brag in rights, so when you get back and just say, yeah, it actually was like fucking -7, and I was sleeping under a piece of plastic in the dirt. But yeah, it takes up minimal space. But yeah, also more for my wild camping than it is for a MilSim. But I thought I'd show it just to say it's a tiny little.
Lance, can you keep your reports short and sweet, please? Because whilst it's lovely to know the precipitation, humidity.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just going to get my big barometer up and nail it to a tree. Yes, There we go.
I can confirm it hasn't rained in the last 12 minutes. Thanks, lads.
I'm here all week, lads. Here all weekend. Come see me. Dual purpose, quickly. I did want to mention, because you mentioned we love things dual purpose. So people pack pillows and bits and bobs like that for events, little travel pillows or whatnot. See, I use my softy jacket. I'll turn it in the other way because otherwise it just makes the screen go crazy. Old school British Army softy jacket, empty pillowcase, stuff the softy in there when you go to bed, and there's your pillow. And this is my tactical one.
Ah, the tactical pillow, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Would you like me to demonstrate it in case some people haven't seen?
Yeah, demonstrate the tactical pillow, because I know there's a few people on the chat tonight that may not have seen
apologies,
this before.
it is green, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, just an empty little travel pillowcase, and what I do is I stuff my... This is all very interesting for people listening back. Lance is currently putting a jacket in a pillowcase. Let's just pop that in there.
I'll run to some of the comments while you're doing that. So Terry says, "Hi lads from Latvia." Hello, Terry.
Hello, Terry.
Kenny says, "Have great for keeping GBR or GBBR mags warm at night." Yeah. What else we got? I am so tired. By the way, I am fucked. I really want to go to bed. Les says, be mindful that if you don't buy your Stanley from Stanley directly, that it doesn't have the warranty. The warranty only applies if it's bought directly from Stanley for life, apparently.
Stanley for life.
Interesting.
Stanley for life.
It's quirky.
Right, so the reason I did this is...
So, sorry, for our audio listeners, we're now watching Lance with a pillow strapped to the back of his head.
Listen, right, the proof's in the pudding. This does work. So you're laying down in your DOS bag, stand to, you're up. No, false alarm, right back, straight back to sleep. Pillow's not going to fall off your belt kit, go in the mud. It's there. Where should your pillow be? On the back of your head. Ta-da!
So, actually, on that point, a travel pillow would be quite good.
What, a neck pillow, you mean?
Yeah, those inflatable thick things that you can kind of just sit there, because you could then get a bit of kip just sitting upright, couldn't you?
Yeah, you could do that.
Louise has commented. Louise says, "You look really cool, Lance. I'm a lucky gal."
Of course she is. This is genius. You can't get these pillows. This is a one of a kind.
Yes. I'm not going to look this up because I know we looked this up again. I know we looked this up last time and we came up with some really weird and wonderful things. So, yeah.
Well,
because there was that weird head pillow. Do you remember that whole surrounding head pillow?
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I might take it on Dragon's Den, Steve. I'm not going to lie.
Straight away. The ostrich.
I'm thinking of taking it on Dragon's Den. I've even used British Army cat's eye strap, which is really bad of me. You know what I'm saying? I'm jealous.
We will come on. Talking of comfort, I'd like to move on to knee pads and sort of seating pads, which I know you have one to hand. But just before we do, I want to mention this god awful thing. But yeah.
Oh, this was it, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. And you end up looking like that. Oh, hang on. There we go. Yeah, so cool.
Because didn't we say it could be pants, couldn't it? It could be underpants.
Could be pants. Currently unavailable. Don't know when this item will be back in stock. So there you go.
No. I'm sure you don't. But yeah, that's my pillow. I love it. But whatever.
Right, I'll introduce this next one while you grab it. So, I was ludicrously mocked for these mats. So, funnily enough, it's something that a lot of serving soldiers have, and
is it?
I know that they do. I know that they do because I've seen them. I've seen them on the news out in Ukraine at the moment. Plenty of people have subsequently talked to me about this as well. But little seating pads, anything just to basically give you a little bit of insulation against sitting on the ground, kneeling on the ground, keeps you out of the wet. Multi-mat. So this is a multi-mat version. There are a number of other products out there that you can get, but it's basically, for all intents and purposes, a layer of insulation between you and the ground. Some current serving soldiers, you will actually see them have that sort of permanently on their back,
got a bit of shit on it,
hung off their belt kits or anything like that. So it's
That's mad.
always there. So whenever they sit down, straight away they've got their pad there. But yeah, I highly recommend them. Like, the number of times that I've taken mine out and it's just literally, you've got a bit of wet ground or something like that. You don't want to be sitting down on it. Just have something like that that's not going to absorb all the water. And it literally just stops you from getting a cold arse.
With the knee pad thing as well, if you've not got the knee pads on, it's just being able to drop to you when you're doing a brew, making a brew or cooking up over a stove. Just having that little pad to kneel down on, like you say, just sit down on your ass and relax. Yeah, they are good. I did take the piss and I apologise, and I did apologise publicly to you.
And so many people are now going, oh yeah, I actually went and bought a mat for my knees and stuff like that. You were more public with yours. Kenny says there's a mobile glory hole hat. Oh, I think that's the ostrich pillow that we were talking about online, not your one.
Yeah, that's like a multi-glory hole hat.
Yeah. And angles. Then Gavin says his Lance going to put a string on his and mount it to your ass, like the pillow.
Or my sitting pad, or my pillow.
And RT 1989 says could just use the pillow and strap it to your ass instead.
Could just sit on the pillow. Could do that, absolutely.
Yep. Oh, Andrew Taylor says seat pads are the dog's bollocks. I use a Spetsnaz pad. I don't know what that one is.
Oh, Christ, Andrew, why did you tell him that? He's going to look it up now and one will be ordered by 10 p.m.
There we go. Marky Mark, I will admit I took the piss, but after using one at Phoenix, I retract my comment. I love my seat pad. Oscar says the Russians, Ukrainians have them on all the time due to their doctrine of sitting on the outside of armoured vehicles, which can get freezing during winter and very uncomfortable. Cheers, Dits. So there you go.
Done, sir. Yeah, love that.
There you go. They're good for rocky ground. They're good if it's wet ground. And it's just that little bit of extra padding as well. Like if you been slobbing around all day, it just if you can get something, why not just have padded vehicles so they can bounce off of stuff?
Padded vehicles. What an arse. Whitehead, you're an arse.
The rubberized MBT. Thanks, Stephen.
Just all wibbly wobbly. Point.
And good morning, beautiful people from our Australian.
Good morning, Phil. How you going, mate?
Phil. Right, so yes, seat pads. Now, we talked last week about bed mats or sleeping pads, anything like that. Obviously, we talked,
yes,
trying to ensure you get something with foam in, so it's not a purely inflatable system. There's a couple of products that we didn't mention specifically. So there is the German Army Multi-Mat, which is probably one of the thinnest sleeping pads I've ever slept on. I, for the life of me, can't work out why this thing, I'll promise you, is like 5 mil thick.
Is that the one that folds into a square?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got that.
And it's got loads of different shapes. It's okay, but it's not very comfortable as a sleeping pad, is it? Like, am I missing something here? Is there some trick to it?
It gets you out of a bind.
Yes. It is technically a sleeping pad.
Yes, it is a pad that technically could be slept on. No, for storability, packability, reliability, I don't think you'd get better, that sort of style. Like the old British Army issue foam pad. It will never burst because there's nothing to it. It's fucking awful. But essentially, that is what it is. Do you know what I mean? That's why we get them, is because they last an awful lot longer than a Lilo, for example. Yeah. But that alongside, obviously, I've got the Aunt Fantry's ground sheet as well. So I've got those two things at the same time. Yeah, I wanted
to mention that one because the ground sheets, if you don't want to take a tarp, the ground sheet is basically a dog's bollocks of a tarp.
It can't be used as a shelter, but it
bulletproof.
It's not massive and it's not small. It's pretty big enough for like a bed space and then a little bit of kit. It's that perfect in between sort of thing.
Yeah.
I do recommend the German Infantry anti-rip ground sheet. You can see the grid squares across it, and it's a really good bit of kit. I've burnt a couple of holes in mine, but it's still good as gold. Highly recommend.
They are literally 50 mil thick.
Yeah.
Sorry, not 50 mil thick. That's 5 centimeters. 5 mil thick. The German the German infantry ground. I don't get it. Like, I got one. It's very cool. It all folds up, and you can fold it in different ways, do different things. But it's so thin.
I mean, I would go. I mean, personally, for me, I'd go with the Thermarest, the Dutch Army Thermarest issued sleep pad, over the German infantry one. Because even when it's folded up into a block, even to sit on that, you might as well just sit on a fucking brick because it's so it's so there's no give in it at all when it's all folded into one. There's literally no give.
No. And it's still thin. I mean,
Yeah.
you fold 5 mil up into whatever thickness you want. You can only fold it so much, and it's still only like that. Whereas at least the block you can have as like more of a seat. Right?
Yeah, but it still gets you out of a bind, nonetheless.
Yes, it does. It does get you out of a bind.
Yes, it
and
is. Yes.
I'd be very interested. I know we talked about these briefly before, but if anyone has recently or looking into purchasing the Savota FDF sleeping pad, I would be very interested to talk to you because these pads it's basically a self-inflating pad, but it's got the wings on it. So it's got like an area. It's almost like a built-in ground sheet type thing, effectively. But they are very cool. They are hard to get hold of, but they're not overly expensive. So if anyone has got one, please let me know because I'd like to find out a bit more about them. So yeah. Stip says we need tactical pants that have built-in pockets to put neoprene pads in on the arse area. That's a good idea. Like the knee pads, but at the back.
Well, you've got the it's like
and you can get shot in the arse as well.
And it wouldn't hurt. Well, you've got like the smock jackets, haven't they? They've got the mat pocket along the back there, like especially like the parasmock and that. There's nothing stopping you putting a bit of foam in there. So if you're sat down, you can sit down onto it and have it as a ting, you know.
Les has just messaged me. He's literally just bought a multi-mat for £3 at Outdoor Gear. .co.uk. So there you go.
Well, German infantry ground mat.
No, not German infantry one. This is just
multi-mat.
They're the little multi-mat, the little fold-up seat pad. Whoop, whoop. So there you go.
Also, handy xylophone. I can't do a xylophone.
German Kenny says the German mat is better for a sit pad or putting in an old Bergens against the back. Yeah, but that's not what it's for.
For Christ's sake, Kenny.
I get that it's cool having multiple uses for things, but if the thing doesn't do its primary use.
Don't give Mike
the Plat Attack Gonk mat. Which I will look
Plat Attack Gonk mat. Bloody Aussies and their names for things. Seriously.
Yeah.
Phil, why is it called a gonk mat? Don't say it's for gonks to sit on or anything like that. Fuck's sake.
Actually, it's quite a cool little system. Let me bring that up.
Stephen Whitehead says, Google fake ass padded bum. I dare you. Okay.
Sorry, no, I'm not Googling that. I'm at work. I brought the wrong screen up. We'll talk about chairs in a little bit as well, because chairs obviously aren't the most stealthy of items. If you're going to be going, but this is kind of deviating from the hardcore MilSim perspective at this point. But if you have the capability of having a kind of a safe area,
that's what we need. They're the undergarments we need.
Oh, there you go. Look, yeah, we'd look exactly like that as well. There is that could just be you and me right there.
Yeah. Absolutely, yes. Oh, look, you can get inserts.
If anyone wants to
you can
surprise
buy larger
us,
inserts.
There you go. If anyone wants to surprise us with some padded pants, we will try them out. Hashtag not a sponsor.
Yeah. All shapes and sizes.
This is the Plat Attack Gonk mat. This is the 3/4.
I like the look of that already.
And I must profess, it looks quite cool. I'm not going to lie. I like the shape.
Is it a double pad? What is it? What is it? Look, go back again. What is that?
6 internal ground. I'm not going to read it off the big screen. 6 internal ground insulating foam panels. The Plat Attack Gonk mat is a 3/4 length reversible sleeping mat that's designed to be simplistic alternative to bulkier self-inflating variants. It can be folded and placed in an Alice frame or rolled up and strapped to your pack with ease. Some have even been stitching the mat to the bottom of their packs for a quick roll-up strap-and-go setup. This updated design features an integrated elastic cord for easy storage and chiseled corners for only $40, apparently. It comes in a variety of colours, Ranger green. They have to add more money for those. So the 40... Hang on, what? Oh, right.
Yeah, I don't
what's
get
going
the
on here?
bit.
So if you want it in Australia, Ozcam / Desert Ozcam, that's $40. But if you want it in any other colour, you have to add $30 to it.
Right. What? I was just trying to get my head around. It looks like there's 2 mats, one slightly on top of the other. Is that what you get, or is that?
No, I think one's back. I think they're the reversible. I think that's the front and back.
I love how they've shown the reverse of the front and back of the OD green and the brown. Then, if you go to the green one, there it is, front and back.
Yeah, there you go. That's the front and back. Brown, they didn't even bother. They just went, yeah, it's brown.
They must have realised when they got to the brown photo, and thought, oh, dickhead, it's the same colour, isn't it?
Yeah. There's 3/4 lengths. It's 88 by 45, 400 gram weight, 6 internal ground insulated foam panels. Can be folded and rolled up. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I still don't know why it's called a gonk mat, but you know,
send us one, Phil, and we'll let you know if we like it, mate.
Yeah.
If that's what you're getting at, then happy days.
Yeah. Right, chairs. So there are a number of chairs out there that I think we would recommend. For me, it's getting you off the ground, I would suggest. So in the winter, you don't want to be sitting on cold ground. That's a problem, isn't it? I mean, ultimately, that's the reason that we have the sleep pads. You want to be insulating a little bit. If you have a chair, you know, you can obviously throw a whoopee or something over you.
I have a chair.
Yeah. You can throw a whoopee over you, and you know you've got relatively comfortable sitting position. So if you're fortunate enough to be in a stag position, which allows that, obviously you're not probably going to be having a chair in an LUP or anything like that. Yours is the forget the name of the one that you like. It begins with a K.
Not cameo. Camababa. Oh bugger! Hang on, I've got a bag for it just there. It's the Cam. Christ, hang on. That's really.
I want to say like Camerai. Kamuri. I like the one Tigress chair anyway. You can get two different size of Kamui. There you go. Kamui. One Tigress. They do 2 different styles of chair. They do a high back one and they do a short back one. The short back one, I am adequately surprised as to how comfortable that chair is, and I am not the thinnest of people. The weight rating on that is definitely good.
And it does pack down into this little pack.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. These are great bags as well. This is the one for my... They're very lightweight, so be careful using them in the wind when you're near a fire, because I got out of my chair when I was camping with the dog. I went to get something, and as I got my sizable arse out of the chair, the wind hit the back of it and pushed it in the fire. That sort of fucking ruined my evening. God damn it, I had to sit on the floor with the dog. But I now use it.
You didn't have a backup mat?
I didn't have a backup mat, no, I didn't. I did have the truck parked behind me, but I thought that sort of defeats the object of having a lovely campfire setting in the woods. Just sat there in the truck, looking at the fire out the window with a heater on.
That looks pretty.
Stupid. Yeah. Ah, lovely fire. Look at that. Lovely. But yeah, it does. It's a great little bag, so I do use it for my recce hood. Now that goes in there. And I bought another one, and I used the pack for that other chair on the back of my webbing. It's like a US arse pack type thing, which is also very good.
Yeah.
Yes. But one Tigress do very good chair. They do a taller back as well to one, which is
so they do the. I was just finding some pictures, funnily enough. This will do. I'll just use Google. But basically, they do the short back and high back. I think one's called the Promenade and one's called the Dragon Hide. Seems 2 very different names for what is effectively very similar. But the Promenade. Oh, goodness sake! Where we go? The Promenade. I can't open it. The Promenade.
I can't own a chair that's called the Promenade. I'm sorry.
No, the Promenade.
Has anyone bought one of them?
Those ones, the Promenade. I've got a Promenade.
I'm not talking to you anymore.
Okay. And then you've got the Dragon Hide, which is the...
Now, Dragon Hide, that's the chair.
Dragon Hide does sound cool. It does sound cool. And what I will say is the Dragon Hide base, I think, is superior to the Promenade chair.
It would be, because of the name.
Yeah, because of the name. But you can actually adjust the legs. So this is a really crap way of looking at it. Let's go on that one.
Promenade.
Is that better?
How does that sound camping, wild, forest? When one Tigress got around the table and thought, guys, we're going to brainstorm the name of this new chair we've got.
Yeah.
And then some knobhead at the back's gone, Promenade. Yeah, great idea. Let's call it the Promenade chair. Brilliant.
There we go. That's what I want to show you. So basically, the frame setup on the Dragon Hide is better. Basically, to me, it compacts down better, and you can remove the lower legs. So if you want a slightly lower profile chair, still with the high back, you can achieve that. So they're not horrifically expensive, but they are very, very good.
It's multifunctional use is what we like.
There we go. Right. What's next?
Chairs. Chairs are good.
So
we like chairs. Gloves.
Yes, gloves. We did talk about gloves a bit last time. We did. But you actually have some to hand now.
I've got... yes, I've got my 2 pairs of sealskins, which sort of make their way out into the kit bag in the winter months. And these are the windproof sealskins. They are fab. Nice padded. What are you smirking at?
So for anyone that knows Silly Gilly,
for Christ's sake, not this again.
This has to be mentioned. We went camping with Silly Gilly at an event. Can't remember the name of the event. Doesn't matter. Silly Gilly was there, and he put his thermal gloves on, which were basically sealskins. And by thermal, they keep your hands warm. They're not heat proof. And then started trying to take logs in and out of the fire and doing sort of various sort of fire related activities.
Campfire tasks.
I was very surprised to find that the entire rear of his very expensive sealskins had completely melted off. So whilst we absolutely love Silly Gilly on the show, absolute huge respect for what he does Gilly wise.
There is a reason he's called Silly Gilly. Yeah, that is a very apt name for him at that particular time. Silly Gilly. But yes, so these are windproof. They're not fire retardant gloves. They're windproof gloves. They're very, very good gloves. So yeah, I do take them. And these are the Gore-Tex sealskins shooter's gloves, which has got the little magnetic bit on the back, so you can get the main trigger finger out. Leather padded, and these are cracking as well. These are just as warm, to be fair. They're really good. Like, one thing I have had happen though, which does shit you up in the dead of night, early hours of the morning, is when you've got the glove on. And it's happened to me a couple of times.
Yeah, it's happened when I've been around as well. And did you hear that?
And you haven't got your finger in there, but it's ready to go. Over time, this bit will move. And if you're very, very quiet for a second, girls and boys, this happens. And when you're laying there and you're really close to that and it's dark and you can't see that happen, it just goes, that shits you up. So just be mindful of that.
Yeah.
But they're even warm. They're so warm. If I was to choose out the 2 pairs, it would be the greys with the shooter's finger, the shooter's gloves over them. These are pucker. Highly recommend them. I'd like to be able to tell you the brand actual. They are sealskins, waterproof, breathable. Got a part number here, KJ492 shooting glove. There we go. KJ492 sealskin shooting gloves. Do highly recommend them. Gloves.
So Gavin says, I've used the Smart Heat 3 from the Heat Company. They are mittens that you can fold open for fingered gloves, but not good for wet conditions though. So, bit of recommendation there. Harry says, what happened to Mike's Big's mitts? Yeah, I highly recommend those. We talked about those in the last show. Bit of jazz hands. So the British Army glove system, from what I gather, comprises of 3 gloves. You have the the leather ones that you can get, like the thinnish kind of multicam-esque leather gloves. You usually find them out and about in various grades and conditions. There you go. That's the ones. So that's basically kind of the first glove. You can then get the next one, which is kind of like the gauntlet style glove.
They're actually a really comfortable glove, these are. I might actually try and run a game with them. But
from what I can gather, though, they are not the most waterproof.
Really? They're leather, though. Surely.
I know. I mean, I've had some that have gone a bit ropey over time, so I don't know whether maybe the seal has gone or anything like that. If you want a proper waterproof glove, I would highly recommend just getting a sealskin. I've never had a problem with the sealskins. You do pay a little bit more of a premium for those. The shooter sealskins ones, I think they're the ones that you actually had to hand. They're Lance, but they are good. You get sort of the rubber texture and everything like that, Are they fully waterproof? Because obviously, presumably, because you've got the finger that opens up, that's gonna.
Well, obviously no, because there's a hole there for the finger, but for most
Yeah.
part, they are fully waterproof.
Okay. Lance is holding up the middle finger of the glove like a child. So yeah, basically the gloves, the British Army glove system comprises of the inner glove. Then you then have like an outer mitten, I guess, type effect. So you're kind of reduced to a thumb, and then kind of your fingers kind of group into that sort of shape, which is kind of the Vulcan welcoming symbol. So you can kind of got that level of dexterity.
Nanu.
And then they also do the yeah, I guess.
Nanu.
You also get, no, I don't know what you're talking about. You also
What?
get the over mitten, which is kind of just another layer of Gore-Tex. Basically, it goes over the top. They've got like a textured dimple system on. Yeah, so highly recommend those. I mean, the British Army ones, obviously, you can get pretty cheap. Any of your military surplus shops, if you have a chat with them, you can get them in Woodland DPM, Multicam, anything like that, MTP. There's MTP rather than Multicam, but I recommend those because you can just stuff them in your pack. You can throw them over the top of whatever glove you've got on at the time. For the most part, as long as you're kind of careful with what you keep dry and stuff like that, you can't beat having a nice pair of gloves just to put on just to warm your hands up once you get cold. So,
yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Phil says Silly Gilly's sitting there shaking his head, saying, "You fuck one goat."
I think Phil's been on the drink for breakfast.
You're right, Phil.
You having a bit of a moment, mate?
Oh, Oscar says, don't use the magnet gloves while doing your land nav. The compass will think it's in the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah. Whoa!
Yeah.
Very good, sir.
Stephen Whitehead says, USGI Nomex gloves are pretty cheap and fire retardant. That's not a bad one.
Nice, like it.
Mike
Andy's in the US right now. We're getting to bulk buy some.
Yeah. Andy, if you're listening, which you should be.
Yeah, god damn it.
Please. I have that size hand, whatever that size hand is.
Yes. I have size 9.
Have we got big hands? I don't know.
I don't know, 9.
Cool. So,
I've got a size 9 safety glove hand.
I have medium, I think.
I think that's 9.
I buy medium latex gloves. Like when I do my cooking and stuff like that.
Who cooks with latex gloves on?
Oh man, if you want to do proper food hygiene and you're catering for a large group of people.
Oh my god! So not only do you own a chair that's called the Promenade, you wear latex gloves whilst cooking. Anybody else wear latex gloves whilst they're cooking? Phil, if you say
John
yes,
does. John's not in the chat. John's not in the chat, but John definitely wears them because it was John that put me onto them. So there we go.
John who?
Kenny says you. John.
Oh yeah, but most 9 times out of 10 he's covering meat in like barbecue sauce. So
yeah, that's what I mean. That's why you got to wear them. I'm not wearing them for like cooking veg and stuff like that. I'm talking
going out in the kitchen to make a cheese toasty and you.
No.
Oh, you fucking weirdo! What are you doing?
That's for later.
Anyone want an ice cream from the freezer? Does. Yes, please. Okay.
It's not even the little one. It's not even the little short ones. It's the full, like veterinary ones
glove.
that go up to your armpit.
Just get a bit of KY on there.
Into the deep freezer.
Into the freezer. Whoa, what's in here? Mork and Mindy.
Oh.
Mork and Mindy. Thank you, Gavin. Nanu. I don't think that's it. That's Spock, isn't it? That's Vulcan.
Yeah.
Is that Spock? I'm sure.
I've heard of Mork and Mindy. I don't know.
It's Robin Williams, wasn't it?
A lot about it, but yeah. I don't think I've ever watched
Gavin wears nitrile gloves, less sweaty. I'm allergic to fresh fruit and veg. Oh, blimey.
Well, there you go. See? They're more common than you think. And everyone in the chat's going to be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to go get myself some nitrile gloves now or latex gloves or whatever like that and be like, yeah, these are amazing. These are great. Like the multi-mats.
Ridiculous.
It's gonna be a thing.
It's gonna be a thing. Headwear.
Right. Headwear. You need to have a beanie on you. Always have a beanie. Don't go to an event without a beanie. If you were camping at an event, beanie.
I agree. You should have a beanie on you. Absolutely. They are a must. A good old-fashioned knitted woolly hat is a must. However, I recommend getting one of them.
Sorry, Steve has just said we're not buying the gloves.
Oh no, we're not. I recommend getting a bally because it can be a beanie. You can roll it up, dual purpose. It's what we love. I've got a little string hanging there. Don't ask about the string. But yeah, I highly recommend a bally. They are very, very good.
I've told this story before. I'm going to tell it again. I don't have an issue with balaclavas at all. However, I once woke up because I'd slept with the balaclava on and it had slipped round in the night, and I woke up thinking I'd died because there was no light. I was suffocating. I didn't know what was going on. It was almost like waterboarding yourself effectively, waking up with this thing just all over your face, and then you're running around and you've got these 3 holes on the back of your head.
Isn't that erotica asphyxiation or something? You can...
It might as well be. It needs some sort of retention strap. It needs to be kept in the right place.
Yeah. So yeah, a beanie hat. Well, getting back on topic.
Yeah.
A beanie hat is an absolute must. I mean, obviously you got your boonies and stuff. They're not as insulating as a beanie hat. Headovers or a head comforter, British Army issue head comforter, headovers. These are great. They're just open-ended cloth, so you can put it around you as a neck scarf. You can fashion it into a little commando hat. But literally, yeah, they're open. You could have it as a muff. Put your hands in there, nice. You know, want to go undercover, dual wield. So that's all cool. Yeah. So, but these are great. So that's like winter headwear.
Is that a surplus one? That one?
Yeah, it's literally a head over and a beanie hat or bally, and one of them, and that's sort of like the winter top half done. Yeah. Awesome.
RT1989, going to turn up to my first MilSim with nothing but a balaclava and latex gloves. You will be well in there. Yeah. You won't need anything else.
You'll
be
welcome
put the fear
of
God
arms,
into the enemy. There won't be a problem.
Imagine, having to deal with a riot. There's a riot going on at Longwall. Can we get a QRF out there? Just come walking out of one of the houses. Hello, guys. With my promenade chair. Just sat there. Just sat there with a balaclava on and latex glove watching. That's what I'd do.
Just
creepy
like
as fuck.
Just slowly
just sat there, absolutely bollock naked, apart from a balaclava and latex gloves, and your boots and safety pro, eye pro.
No, you'd need to have like a leather apron or something.
I've got to move the chair back a bit. You would. I'd just be sat there, cross-legged, just. Oh yeah.
All
right. No riots here, lads.
Excuse me, sir. Have you seen anything strange going on? Nope.
Yeah.
If anyone, I know that was it Daz? Daz at one point was like playing around, or somebody was playing around with like the AI and stuff like that, and generating images after the show. That would be a cracking one to try and come up with. If
anyone has got access to that, someone in underpants wearing latex gloves, wearing a balaclava, sat in a camping chair in the woods. See what comes up, man. Just see what comes up.
Gavin sent the retention strap version of it is a GIMP mask, Mike, of the bally. So yeah, I can see that. I mean, I guess it depends on the material. I don't think you necessarily get woolly GIMP masks. I don't know, to be honest with you. Let us know if you have one in the chat.
Essentially, a balaclava is a woolly GIMP mask, isn't it? Really? I suppose if you put a zip on there or a ball gag.
Well, Steve says, funnily enough, the string on yours, Lance, is so you don't lose your ball gag. So there you go.
Oh, there you go. I didn't even see that. There we go. Thank you, Steve. AK Panama.
And then Marky Mark says, surely any hat is better than no hat. And I would agree with you. But I think the number of times where having a beanie or anything like that, because if you get a cold head, literally just whack a beanie on and it's straight away going to be nice and warm and cozy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it's like that sort of statement. I was like entering a race against a Lamborghini and you've just been given a push bike. It's like, well, it's better than nothing, isn't it? I was like, no, but it's not very good.
Yeah.
You do need things fit for purpose as well.
What I want to talk about with headovers. So a number of products out there I've found, if you go into places like Mountain Warehouse or anything like that, if you want a camouflaged or sort of printed headover, be very careful because a lot of them come with a bright white inner. So it's almost like the fabric that they're printed on, like the latex or the cotton or whatever like that, is just white on one side. Personally, I hate that because you always get a little bit that rolls down or anything like that. You want to try and keep it as kind of concealed as possible. I highly recommend these myself. These are the Highlander versions, and these are a kind of, they're not printed per se, I don't know, but the fabric runs all the way through, so the print on the outside is the same as the print on the inside. These come in a number of different colors, so you can get them in I guess a multicam. This is a really poor website to advertise the array of different materials and products that you can get, but yeah, basically these are great. And then it's thin enough that you can, even in the summer, if you just want to kind of like just cover up your face a little bit, say you're hiding in the bush, you just want to get a look very quick, without having to sit there and put a whole load of cam cream on. You just want to kind of hide your face a little bit more, even your arms.
Bugs out here as well.
Yeah, you can just pop one of those on. So I don't know if that's the cheapest place to get them from. This is backalleyarmystore.co.uk. I can't say I've shopped there myself, but highly recommend the Highlander military headovers that you can get online. So there you go.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely.
And just can I just clarify as well, if you are listening to the show, we're not paid to sponsor any of these. These are literally our own recommendations. These are things that we have found that have worked well.
Our own things bought with our own money.
Yeah.
And if they're good, we will let you know.
So if anyone thinks that we're just literally reeling off a load of products and websites and things like that, you know, I wish we could get paid for these things, but unfortunately that just kind of counteracts the whole premise of what we're trying to do, which is obviously just advertise stuff that we genuinely recommend and believe in. So yeah, Schmags, whatever how you pronounce it.
Fantastic, mate. Yeah, I've got my OD green one.
Use that as a head covering.
I was supposed to grab, and I didn't.
I really wish they could do a DPM version of that though.
Oh, DPM Schmag.
Yeah, because you get like the black and green ones, like the
that's what I've got, black and green.
Yeah, like the OD kind of.
What does you get? Black and green, red and white, blue and white.
You can get all sorts of patterns and colours. I've got one that's got
I've got
navy and sort of a lighter blue that's got AK-47.
You've got me one which is yellow with the black nuclear biohazard.
Yeah, biohazard one. Yeah,
which is just there.
Maybe we should see if we can bring out a NoFo Schmag, whatever it is.
That's a good idea. That is a cool
I reckon
bit
we
of
probably
merch.
could. I'll write that one down.
Yeah. You heard it here first.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to go on the pile of other things that we.
No, because you know I've been chirping on about tea towels.
The NoFo tea towel, yeah.
That Schmag is. I use it for everything, man. I mean, I'll wipe my cup out of it and then wrap it around my head and not bat an eyelid. Then it goes in the bag till the next event. Just give it a shake. Shake off the penicillin.
I'll have a chat with the Women's Institute and see if I can. It's something they can make us up one or not.
Mother Fraser's sweatshop be able to do something for us.
I think the Mother Fraser sweatshop might be a tad limited when it comes to making those. But funnily enough, we have actually had an awful lot of recent inquiries on our Instagram of various companies around the world offering to make us stuff. So I'm wondering if I reach out to a couple of them and see if we could get some made, because that might be quite entertaining. I like that idea. Well,
I like it a lot.
Leave that with me. I'll look into that one.
Oh, that's never going to happen then.
Hurtful. Very hurtful.
Oh, don't be like that.
Yeah. I'll probably order the wrong size and we'll end up with like NoFo handkerchiefs.
No, there'll be pocket handkerchiefs, for your shirt, for your suit. Lovely.
Yeah, 3 latex gloves and a balaclava. There you go.
That's the only kit
not
you
latex one, sorry, nitrile, just in case you're allergic to latex. There you go.
Good stuff. So we've covered insulating yourself from obviously keeping the heat in, but stopping the cold getting to you, i.e. like windproof smocks, windproof gloves, bivvy bags, all that sort of stuff. There's one little bit of kit here which I take for me for winter events, which I will show off, which is cracking. And it's not waterproof, but it's a windproof over jacket. Look at that green bag.
It's his invisibility blanket.
And it is my Harry Potter invisibility blanket. But no, this is like an over jacket, MTP, and it crunches up even smaller than that. I haven't even crunched it down, but that will fit there. Very, very small. But it's so lightweight, and I can't find them anywhere on the internet anymore. It's a US brand. And I think we've been down this road before about where you get them from. But it comes with a hood. But that is a absolutely gleaming bit of kit as a jacket for windproof jacket, nice and lightweight. It's just all about that, especially in the winter months. All about that layering up, being able to whip a layer off if you're getting too hot, cold and bold, and then adding layers on as you go. Yeah, highly recommend something like that to keep in your kit. If you're going out with just like a combat shirt or U-backs on and it just starts to drop a bit and you want to just chuck that little layer on, you know, they're the absolute worth their weight in gold. Really good bits of kit. Ooh, up in there.
I was just looking up because I don't know if JJ's have brought it out yet, but yes, they have. The last. There we go. Let's bring this up. So JJ's have brought out the last insertion Parker in multicam, which is £1,000. So it's obviously probably not sort of everyday item, but this is obviously kind of a reminiscent of the
monies.
Yes, but it's reminiscent of the overcoats that they used to wear on sort of like the choppers, sort of a chopper coat. So obviously you can have all your kit underneath, you can throw it over the top, and it's like a big cloak, effectively. I mean, it's probably not too dissimilar to that, but they brought that out recently, which is pretty cool. I think Through Dart make one as well. There's substantially cheaper, I believe, but I will check that actually. Coat. Yeah, there we go. The shroud. Yeah, 260 quid for a True Dark shroud.
There we go.
But theirs don't come in a camouflage pattern.
They've got multicam black, haven't they? By the looks of it, the last one.
Oh yeah, they do. Okay, yeah, no, granted. But that's based on how much love there was for the multicam black, they don't come in a camouflage pattern. Because a lot of people said they hated multicam black. I personally don't mind it too much, but yeah. So there you go. There's an item to keep you warm, something like that. Yeah. Gavin says, "Holy hell, for £1,000, where are they inserting it?"
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Danny, yeah, 350. Thank you for that, mate. Marky Mark, some fishing tackle companies produce some decent quality DPM pattern thermal layers if you don't want MTP or multicam. Funnily enough, on that, if you do want to get some sort of cheaper layering, anything like that, now you're not necessarily going to be getting, as I say, your camouflage patterns and things like that per se, but Decathlon's pretty good.
Just about to say that.
For bits of kit. I have a down jacket that I got from there about 40 quid a couple of years ago. Compact's nice and small. You know, it's not windproof per se, but it is an extra thermal layer, which, you know, if you again, you've been running around, you've stopped all of a sudden, you're going to be static for a while. You want to make sure you kind of retain some of that warmth. Throw the down jacket on. Definitely helps out. Yeah.
What's your layering, Mike? So say we're going out, say it's cold, you know, say it's between sort of 0 and 5 degrees, night patrol. What is your top half sort of layering system? What would be your sort of setup when you left the harbour area and when it were going?
Yeah, so I generally,
not necessarily a kinetic contact, but a general patrol.
No, just like a patrol type thing. So
yeah,
as I said last time, I don't generally tend to wear a vest on the basis of it's hard to take off. So I normally have a U-back as my lower layer on the basis that the U-backs are obviously wicking and everything like that, and it just sort of provides that thermal, and then I've got kind of everything that I need there as well. So the worst case, I can strip down to that and I'm sort of good to go. On top of that is a Norgi, so quite a good little thermal fleece-based layer, which not necessarily the most windproof, but does kind of provide that resistance to.
Great bits of kit.
Yeah. Then on top of that, it depends if we're going to go sound discipline or not. So I quite like the Gore-Tex, the multicam MTP Gore-Tex coats, which add a lot of wind resistance. They're obviously waterproof, but they rustle around an awful lot. So what I generally tend to do is, if I'm going to be in it for a long time, and you have to be very careful because obviously you can massively overheat if you put that layer on. So you have to be kind of wary as to how you're going to do it. But you can put that on, and then you can always throw something over the top. So you might want to put the Norgi on over the top of the Gore-Tex so that you've got that waterproofing. You're kind of protecting everything underneath. You're not too fussed about the Norgi. But then it's not going to be rustling around. But that that is basically wrapping yourself up in cling film. So you are going to be
You will
running
get
the risk
turbo
that
hot.
you are, struggling in that. So if you're going out on kind of a non-sound discipline patrol without the risk of rain, I'll probably just have the Gore-Tex in the bag behind me. And then if it is bitter cold, and I'm talking bitter cold, then I quite like the I'm going to look up the name of the brand. I think it's Brandit fleeces. I've got my big puffy fleece, so I've got that in Woodland
your
DPM.
your teddy bear fleece sort of
Yeah,
thing. Yeah,
yeah.
nice. That's good. Bit
Which I don't find I overheat too much in that. It's got a massive zip on the front, so you can open it up your neck to get quite a decent kind of cooling from the neckline. I can roll the sleeves up in it. So I do like that. So that's like proper worst case cold though. For the top half anyway. For the bottom, I generally just wear long johns and a pair of trousers.
Yeah.
So, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, for me, for my top half, like you say, it's dependent on what you're doing. You know, if you're going to go be smashing doors and cutting about, then you're going to go as light as possible. But if you're on a prolonged patrol, where you're going to be going static and maybe observing for a period of hours or whatever it might be, I mean, my first base layer would always be a long sleeve cotton t-shirt. I've just got a plain OD green long sleeve cotton t-shirt that goes on. Possibly my U-backs, if I haven't got the cotton t-shirt. But then after that, it would be my I've got a lightweight MTP like combat jacket shirt. It's it's quite a thick shirt or a very light jacket. It's sort of like in between that middle road. It's like a collarless one, so I think it's a jacket, field jacket. That'll go on, and then either my softy or my smock, I'll chuck that on. Or depending on how cold it is, I might chuck them both on, the softy and the smock. And I like the fact that it's easy layering. It's easy to just ditch the smock, whip the softy off, put it in my day sack, put the smock back on from getting warm. You know, so that'll be it. It's usually between sort of like 3 or 4 layers, depending on what I'm doing. But they're thin layers, you know, cotton long sleeve t-shirt, cotton lightweight jacket, then the softy, and then like the main covering, like the main elements cover would be the smock jacket itself. Bottom halves, it's only really my tops of my legs that ever feel the cold really bad. So I usually have my Under Armour boxers on, and then my long johns over the top of that, and then just some normal combat trousers, normal fatigues, 2 pairs of socks and the boots, and that's me sort of nice and toasty, really. Yeah, not too bad at all.
Yeah.
And then obviously chopping and changing the top half layers depending on what we're doing. You know, if we're going to go into a big contact and we're going to start, say we're out in the woods at Longmoor and we're going to start hitting the village and kicking doors and moving through fast, I'll probably ditch the softy and possibly even the lightweight combat jacket and just have the cotton t-shirt and the smock on, and put them other 2 bits of kit back in the dry sack. Everything gets kept in the dry sack. It hugely depends
on the temperature, doesn't it?
Yeah, because, and then it goes in the bag.
You know, if you're running around, ultimately you're going to be warming up. You're going to be hot. You know, you're going to be steaming. You're going to be putting a lot of exertion in. You're not going to be wanting to have those layers on, but you just have to be careful as soon as you stop to make sure you
it's weighing that balance up of not sweating and getting all your kit wet from sweating, but then at the same time not staying cold. I mean, I love the whole cold and bold thing where you go out, you know, your adrenaline's going to be up because you're going out on a patrol, this, that, and the other, so you're going to be feeling warm from the adrenaline, as well as moving as well. But it's just how much movement you're going to be. Is it very slow, tactical patrol, where your heart rate's going to remain sort of low? You're not going to be sort of tabbing up hills and getting somewhere quick. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, you've just got to take them things into account. And perhaps not having it all on to start with, but if you needed to, you've got it on you. You know what I mean? Best to have it and not need it than obviously need it and not have it. But yeah, it's all about layering for me. I mean, you
don't want to be carrying too much stuff with you either.
No, you don't. I mean, a 17-litre fighting sack or day sack, or whatever you want to call it, you know, a salt pack with a spare jacket in it and a t-shirt maybe in a dry bag is nothing. You know, you can fit your other kit that you might need in there, a little bit of rations or whatever, however long the patrol is. Not to mention what's on your first fighting order anyhow already. You might have some bits in your smock jacket, or whether you're wearing webbing or whatever, battle belt, shooter's belt, whatever it might be. You will have your initial setup on you. So those are a couple of additional things for comfort and warmth are quite key, really. And like I said, balancing the not getting too hot. And like when you come back, if you have been sweating out and you are going to get your head down, change your top, change your socks. Because they're the 2 things that are going to be the most sweating out a lot. You know, your feet are going to be sweaty, your top half's going to be sweaty. Get yourself dry, talc up where you need to, get a dry t-shirt on, and then get in your DOS bag, and then get that damp stuff hung up somewhere. Hang it on the ridge line inside your basher, perhaps, just to get it aired out a little bit. Or if you've got another one, you can just dump that straight into a dry sack and stick it in your Bergen, so it's out of the way. One less thing to pack if you have to, break down your basher and get out of there quickly. It's one thing that's already been packed away. So, yeah, there's things to consider in it. Is maintaining that heat and keeping a level of not being too hot and not being too cold, but just being sort of comfortable. It can be tough as well. It can be difficult, like changing environment, especially in the UK. You get it's 17, 18 degrees 1 minute, and then the clouds clear and it's freezing fucking cold, then it rains, then it freezes, and it's like you've got to sometimes in a weekend you could be dealing with all 4 seasons at some point throughout the day. So it's trying to pack accordingly for that. You obviously can't take everything.
I would when it's raining as well. I mean, we talked about long johns and things like that, and I know that there's kind of a running joke of tights, etc. But long johns, sort of the more traditional long johns, which are kind of your cotton and things like that. If you've got them on and they get wet, they are going to stay wet. They are going to chafe. They are going to be uncomfortable. If you're at an event where it's likely to rain, and for me, I don't like wearing waterproof trousers and stuff like that because that is just Russell City.
No, I don't.
You're going to be brushing around a lot of undergrowth, things like that. So potentially you're tearing to shreds anyway. So I do recommend at that point, consider tights. And things like the kind of the nylon ones and everything like that, they don't retain all the water. They let your legs breathe underneath. You're not going to be, if you kneel down, your trousers get wet, things are going to dry out an awful lot quicker. The one thing I do recommend, though, on top of that is gaiters.
Yeah.
So there is nothing worse than when you're running around in the wet mud if you need to take your boots off quickly for whatever reason, or you've got wet trousers and things like that because you're running around the undergrowth and things like that. Decent set of gaiters, you're probably looking, I don't know, 20 quid for extra plus ones at the most.
Yeah.
You can pay more, but if you want to go down the route of getting full-on Berghaus ones and stuff like that, then fine, good on you. But just if you are going to buy gaiters, be aware of your your shin size. I apparently have very big shins and calves and kind of all that gubbins on the lower leg, which apparently it does not fit certain sizes. So try before you buy if you can. Just kind of check that they do up around the side, and you want to make sure you kind of got that armored cable underneath to keep the gaiters in place and kind of mounted to your boot. But it just means that you can run around in the mud. You can pretty much go up to your knee height then in deep mud and puddles and everything like that. It's going to give you additional waterproofing to your boots itself. Protect your
and
socks.
Also stops your laces getting all shitted up as well. Nothing worse than just absolutely gipping. You know what I mean? It's not the end of the world. Things can be clean, but if there's a way of you preventing that, prevention's better than curing it. So, yeah, absolutely, good shout, Gators.
So, I think that's pretty much it. I can't think of anything more that you would need to consider for winter kit. We've talked about concealment and camouflage and everything last week.
No, the only thing I've got here, which I've not mentioned, is I keep a little emergency firelighting kit with me, just for whatever. I mean, this is more for like my wild camping and bits and bobs like that, but I always keep it specifically just
a lighter and a small thing of petrol.
It's got it's got one of them in it. It's got a little BCB fire dragon fuel cell, a lighter, some windproof matches, and a wax injected cardboard, which is really good stuff. So this paper basically you can just break off a little block. It will light in any weather. And it's just been it's paraffin injected cardboard, and you literally just scrape your knife blade across it just to fluff it up. If you can see that or not.
Oh, that's
cool.
Just
fluff that all up, and as soon as it gets a spark, it's not like a ferocious flame, but it's enough to get a fire going.
You could probably make that with a bit of cotton wool and some paraffin wax.
Yeah, you probably. I mean, that's the one way I do with my barbecues is I just get cotton wool balls and dip them in Vaseline, and then just chuck them into the coals, and then pile it on the top. That's another great fire lighter. Anything like
I get my cotton wool, I get my Vaseline, and then I have a barbecue later.
You've got to have it done, mate. Got to have it done. Get my nitrate gloves on, balaclava, cotton wool, Vaseline, good to go. But yeah, it's a nice to have. It's not essential, but for a MilSim event, you're not going to be too far away from getting warm. I'd like to think that anyone's sensible enough that they are going down with potential hypothermia or just really, really freezing fucking cold, that you'd be sensible enough to tell your team leader, say, look, I'm really struggling. They'll get you back somewhere where you can get warmed up, or worst case scenario, you have to make that horrid journey to your car and get the heater on for a bit. It is a game at the end of the day. No one wants to get ill or suffer unnecessarily. A little bit of suffering is always good. Builds the character, I think. But yeah, just be careful. Just be careful going into the winter season, boys and girls. Just think twice about what you're packing, where you're going. Like Rich said in the community, if no one's on the WhatsApp group, actually, the NoFo WhatsApp chat, let us know, and we'll put a link up for any new people wanting to join the WhatsApp chat for after show reports, etc.
Which
Richard mentioned a couple of things earlier to mention about like pre-event checks and things like double checking the weather, double checking your kit, bits and bobs like that. So yeah, it's always really necessary to do them. Go through their motions. That should be like your pre-event checklist anyhow. Of, where you're going, what you're going to be doing. What sort of cover you've got? Are you sleeping inside buildings? Are the buildings new?
What's the
Are
weather?
they old and broken down? Is there any windows? Or all these little bits of information you need, because then you can plan, right, if there's no windows there, if it's like Longmoor where they're just like metal shutters that can be closed, there's going to be draft coming through there, so you might want to take a basher just to sling up over the window. Just little things like that can make your lives a little bit more comfortable whilst you're on an event. All them good bits and bobs.
On the subject of the WhatsApp group, if you want to drop us a message, you can do so on our email of nofochat@hotmail.com. Instagram is @November_Foxtrot_NoFo, and the website is novemberfoxtrot.co.uk, and there's a little chat function on there. Ping me a message. If you do it in the next 20 minutes, I might even be able to do it before I go home. I'll ping you the WhatsApp chat. If not, then I will get to you as soon as I can. But there you go. Hi, Charlie.
days.
Oi, boys.
Charlie, how you going, sir?
Gavin, do you really want me in the WhatsApp group chat? You're
Absolutely,
more than welcome,
yes.
dude.
Yeah,
Not a problem at all.
There are rules, Gavin. There are rules to be followed. So.
Jigglypuff Gus asks boxer recommendations for keeping the little boys warm.
Ooh.
See, I've never really had that problem, to be honest with you. I've generally tend to just wear...
the boys hang incredibly low to the ground, Jigglypuff Gus?
Not when it's cold.
No, clearly not.
They're up here.
Yeah. Yeah. We nearly coughed them up. I wear the Under Armour, like cycling short type boxers, mate. Boxers, pants, you use the step ones, is it, Mike? You and Mandy?
I use step ones, yeah. Although I will admit, I'm not so much a fan of them at the moment because I find the fabric very grippy on anything that you wear over them. So yeah, great if you're just running around without any trousers on. But as soon as you put trousers on, it seems to be very grippy to the fabric, and especially my Helicon Tex SFU Next trousers, which is my preferred go-to brand. If I do any kind of lunging or like maneuvering, or you want to get your leg over an obstacle or something like that, I find that the trousers seem to sort of get a little bit stuck to the boxers sometimes, which not ideal.
No,
but they are good. They are good. I highly recommend them. But I've never, as professing, I can't genuinely admit to ever going, oh, I've got cold balls.
Yeah. That's a strange one, Jigglypuff Gus.
Yeah. Good question.
Good question. Poor circulation, sir. That's what it is.
Have a little fondle, warm them up.
Yeah,
there you go.
Exactly,
wash your hands afterwards.
The old pocket pleaser. Get it in there.
Gavin says, what about cold versus riffs?
Well, the biggest one, isn't it, is obviously, well, the two biggest things is obviously maintaining battery power and keeping those GBBR mags at the right operating temperature. Now, whether you put them in your DOS bag when you're asleep, that's all well and good for the first hour of you getting out the DOS bag, but it's maintaining them for the next 20 hours or so that you might be awake, and they're sitting in your plate carrier or your chest rig or your webbing. It's one of them. How good are they in really cold weather? I'm yet to try my MWS in the cold. Hopefully, I'll be doing it in November, and hopefully it's going to be cold because I love the cold. It's the best being outdoors in the cold. But we'll see. Failing that, I just resort back to my Mark 12 and go AEG for a couple of months until the weather warms up a little bit, which doesn't bother me because it's a blisteringly good rifle anyhow. So I'm not fussed either way. But yeah, it's just keeping insulated. Obviously not heating your batteries up, but just keeping them in an insulated. They're lipo bags for a start. You can roll them up inside a jacket, put them in a dump sack. There we go.
This is, funnily enough, something I've been thinking about. So, not so much for gas blowbacks per se, but I was thinking more about like radio batteries. Your radios are going to struggle if you leave them out in the cold. Your mobile phone, your power bank, anything like that. If you just leave them exposed to, sub-zero temperatures, you are going to kill and absolutely muller your electronics.
Exactly.
I don't know how good these are, but this is something I've been looking at playing around with. So just getting some foil pouches. I think these are designed for catering purposes, but they're basically temperature-controlled envelope-shaped protection, which is it offers an adequate amount of thermal protection, whatever that means. But these are basically like a little foil-wrapped bubble wrap bag. So this isn't heating them or anything like that, but it's just providing a little overlayer to kind of keep the cold at bay a little bit. So I was going to have a little bit of a play around with some of these. I'm not buying them from here because I don't need 70 of them for £73, unless anyone wants to go halves. But yeah, so basically, that's an option. I'm always wary about leaving batteries in your sleeping bag.
No, I don't mean leaving them in your sleeping bag per se.
But people do. People
I'd
sleep
consider
with them and
I'd consider putting my gas mags in there. But I wouldn't put like my lipos and stuff like that or whatnot. Mind you, my phone's usually in there with me anyhow. But it's by the by. But yeah, I'd certainly think of a way of insulating and trying to maintain that heat. Whether that battery just sits under your arm for 5 minutes and then you put it in a bag, so it's got that little bit of warmth to it or something like that. I don't know. I mean, when I'm out, my AEG battery stays in my rifle all night and it stays outside my DOS bag next to me. So. And to be honest with you, I've used that rifle through all weathers, and I've got the Titan batteries in mine, and I've never had an issue with it losing charge. Christ, I can't remember the last time I charged the bloody thing up, and it just still keeps going. It's the battery that just keeps on giving. So yeah, it's just one of them. It's one of them. You'll find what's comfortable for you for regards to charging, maintaining your batteries, but yeah, keeping them out of the direct cold, like the cold elements of the air, just like laying out on the floor. Obviously not ideal.
So this is a company called, I've never used this company, but yet, but outdoorgearessentials.co.uk. They make something called the Sussex Outdoors Insulated Pouch for food and batteries. And it is a down-filled pouch that, for all intents and purposes, is a tiny sleeping bag for your essentials. But one of the pictures, and it probably made me laugh, is actually the food laying in it like a tiny sleeping bag.
Night food. See you in the morning.
Good night, food. See you in the morning. So there are solutions out there.
Danny says they put hand warmers in with the mags. Yep, absolutely, mate. Yep, can be done. I've seen people actually thinking of a system to run hand warmers in the back of their mag pouches, so that when the gas mag's in there, it maintains some heat. How good it'll be, I don't know, but it can only help, can't it? We'll have to see. We'll have to see.
Find the really hot guy in your group. And when I say hot guy, the one who runs the hottest temperature-wise, and just give him your mags and be like, "Oh, can I just slip that in your plate carrier for a little bit? I'll come grab it in a bit."
That'll be me because I usually end up boiling.
Yeah.
Yep. Put him inside the smock jacket. There we go.
Yeah, I'll deal with that. No worries. Yeah. I've got you.
About 50 kilos an extra weight from everyone's mags you carry.
Charlie says we've made a big change down the TF kit forever and changed into Gucci bad guys.
Gucci bad guys. Wow.
Nice.
Here we go.
Interested to find out more about that.
Nicely done, sir. Nicely done.
Marky Mark says, in terms of Gavin joining the WhatsApp, can't be any worse than some of the other degenerates who are already in there.
Absolutely. Goes without saying.
Where are we? There's a lot of chat about how you keep your balls warm. Merino wool undies are sometimes a little warm.
Yes, merino wool's good stuff.
Mark says bamboo boxers are great in the cold. Stephen just says long johns. Jigglypuff Gus says fair. I'll have a word with myself.
Absolutely, yeah.
Gavin, on the subject of riffs, I'm tempted to go bolt gun for November. Avoid the issue entirely.
Yes.
Not a bad shout.
Yes, Gavin asked if I was going to, or if we were going to Mac Delta in November. I am 99% sure I'm going. So
yay!
I am excited for that.
Very cool.
Because I
don't know if I am at the moment because money, basically. For all intents and purposes, I have now bought this new house, and it turns out that it's a lot of money to buy a house.
Oh yeah, it costs a bit.
Yeah. Not so much the house. It's all the things that you apparently have to put in the house, like new wardrobes and all of that gubbins.
Oh right.
So yeah.
There we go.
Hey ho. well, there was another question I just wanted to bring up. So Landnav says a silver blanket. Everyone should be carrying one for an emergency.
Oh, I didn't mention my homemade sleep pad.
No, you didn't.
I'll have to do it. I need to do a video on that because someone did ask me to do a video on it. We'll visit at some point. We're doing a Q&A next week, so someone asked me about my sleep pad, and I'll mention it then.
Yeah.
Don't forget, because I'll forget.
Marky Mark, that'll be me. Still use my jungle blanket throughout all last winter.
Good man.
So, Charlie Gang says, lads, what's your next event you're attending? Haven't seen you lads in what feels like years.
Mac Delta, mate. November 23rd, Longmoor with Defiant. That will be my next event, and I think a few of the guys from the team are going. So, see you there.
My next event is next weekend.
I am very jealous. Bastard.
Which is Defiant's Battle Sim, the 2-day. We're doing 2 days. I need to dig out all of my kit. I've just remembered. So
when you get to Longmoor,
how equipped I am will be interesting.
When you get to Longmoor, just have a look through the bunk bed, see if you can find my O-light.
Yeah, I'll have a look for you. I'm sure it's just tucked away
still there.
Yeah.
No Pongo would have stolen it. They're all good lads, you know.
Exactly. I meant to say, we had a response on what a gonk is from Phil. I'm just trying to find it. Grunts. So they're made for grunts. In Oz, a gonk is slang for an unintelligent, callous individual.
Oh. I'm going to start using that quite a lot.
There you go.
Charlie, Miss Lance's answer. November 23rd, mate. Op Machiavellan Delta at Longmoor with Defiant. I'll be attending that. So, and the rest of the lads are going to the 2-day battle sim next weekend at Longmoor with Defiant.
Pew pew.
Pew pew pew. Pew pew pew. Motherfuckers.
If I can find all my mags.
If you can find all
we'll see how that goes.
All your high cappers, you mean?
They're mid caps, I think you'll find. Mid caps.
Pussy.
And you can talk. You're the one who I've never used my MWS in the cold.
I haven't. Yeah, but it's not a high cap mag, is it? So
no, but you run mid caps the rest of it, don't you? You don't run 30 rounds in an AEG.
I do put 30 rounds in my bolt.
Oh, do you? Oh, okay, yeah.
I'll do 5 squeezes with my 9mm. Click, 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 click. It's about 28 to 32 rounds. You don't believe me, do you?
No, not all the time. I've seen you magazines once or twice.
Made me cross.
Right. We'll call that a day. Next week we're going to be doing a Q&A. We believe that Andy will be back.
With all things American to show
passport
us.
Control. So that should be cool.
Hopefully, I might actually put a security alert on him, see if he gets rear-ended at the airport. Say he's a mule. Shall we say he's a mule so when he gets to Heathrow he gets fingered by security?
Surprise!
Would you be angry? Do you reckon he'd be angry?
I think he might be more angry during than afterwards.
What if he never mentioned it? How was the landing and look? Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
What?
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't fingered.
Sorry, I know this is massively going off a tangent and we need to close the show, but I love there's a television advert. I can't even remember what the product is, but there's a guy that goes through airport security and they check him beforehand and he gets all searched and patted down. They take him off into the room and do the whole invasive internal searches. And then he gets checked at the other end. And it turns out that she pulls out a diamond ring and she opens it up. And it turns out that her husband or a fiance or to be was the guy at the other end of the flight. So basically he'd like put the ring in there as a surprise for her when he landed.
She searched the dude and got the ring. Brutal. Free prostate check. Absolutely, yeah.
Right, if you want to get in touch with the show, I'll just flag this up again. You can get in touch with our email at nofochat@hotmail.com. Our Instagram is at November_Foxtrot_Nofo, and the website is novemberfoxtrot.co.uk. We do have bandages and the like still going. There's been a few messages come in asking about them.
Patches.
We've also got patches and bits and pieces as well. So if you're interested, please just bear with me. I will need to dig them out. They are in my store at the moment. So I need to find them, basically. But once they're out and we've kind of got ourselves a little bit more set up and squared away, we can do postage and bits and pieces like that. So just get in touch. I'll kind of announce it in a few weeks' time when I'm kind of more ready to deal with that. If you want to leave us a little thumbs up or a like or whatever, feel free to do so.
And reviews, damn it.
Reviews, anything like that, share us. If you want to go on to one of the many different airsoft groups out and about, bring a friend next time. Share it to your mate. Go, oh yeah, have you checked these guys out? They talk
next
about
week, date night, Q&A.
Pish bushes and all sorts of exciting things.
Absolutely. Pish bush.
On that note, do you want to have the closing words, Lance?
Pish bush.
Nice. Right, we'll see you next week. Q&A, Wednesday, 8 o'clock. Say goodbye, Lance.
Goodbye, Lance.
See you later.
Ciao, Bella. Stay NoFo. Motherfuckers.
All that jazz.
What did you say?
All that jazz.
Oh, all that jazz. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All that jazz.
So this is an interesting test because the outro video is now automated.
You can't
So
do
we're gonna
this
see-
now because we've
Just see
said
how this
bye.
works.